It is 5:42 a.m. in a quiet suburb outside Atlanta when the hallway lights inside a judge's home flicker once and go dark. A second later, the still morning is broken by the heavy footsteps of federal agents moving fast across the front yard. No warnings. No time for anyone inside to react. Through the radio, the first order cuts in sharply. Breach. The battering ram slams into the door. Wood cracks. Splinters fly. Agents push through the opening with flashlights cutting long white beams through the dark living room. For a moment, everything feels frozen. Then they see it, an entire wall swung open like a secret door, filled with heroin bricks stacked tight, cash sealed in plastic, and rifles set out in neat rows. On the kitchen counter, a single phone is still lit. No lock screen, no passcode, just one message sitting open. 38 loads this quarter. No roadside interference. The agents look at each other. They know this is no routine dawn raid. Something much larger is waiting behind this unlocked screen. And once they pull the first thread, the whole map of the Southeast may start to shake. What the agents find inside that house is not just evidence of a corrupt man. It is the first real doorway into a system that has been hidden in plain sight for years. Judge Marcus Hale is not some low-level official. He is a person who signs warrants, delays, hearings, and understands exactly how patrol schedules shift across counties. When someone with that kind of access chooses to bend the rules, every checkpoint and every safety measure in the region bends with him. The first warning sign did not come from a raid. It came weeks earlier, late at night, when a financial analyst stared at a report that refused to make sense. The same name kept showing up in company after company, even though none of them had employees, offices, or any sign of real business. They were shells built to move money from one place to another without leaving fingerprints. When investigators mapped the flow, a pattern jumped out immediately. Every time cartel shipments crossed the Southeast, the judge's companies lit up with activity. When trucks moved, money moved. When money paused, truck convoys paused too. It was too clean to be coincidence. Someone was clearing the way for the cartel, and the only person with that much visibility inside the system was the judge himself. For federal agents, the stakes became clear fast. This was not just about drugs crossing borders. This was about routes inside America being kept open by people sworn to protect them. It meant fentanyl, heroin, and meth were traveling through quiet towns without patrols, raising a single question. It meant someone with power was guaranteeing safe passage. And for the people who live in those counties, it means something harder to accept. The danger isn't always overseas. Sometimes it sits inside offices, courtrooms, and places where trust is supposed to mean something. As the investigation deepens, the feeling inside the task force changes. This is no longer a question of if corruption exists. It is a question of how far it reaches, how many hands touch the map, and how long the pipeline has been running right under the country's feet. If you are following this mission and want to see how deep this network really goes, press 1 if you think the judge acted alone, or 9 if you believe the system around him was helping. Inside the command post, agents move fast as they process everything taken from the judge's home. Teams speak in short, tense lines, loading evidence into sealed bags and linking devices to forensic laptops. But the unlocked phone becomes the center of gravity. Every message matches the banking trail investigators have followed for months. Run 38 loads. Same route. No roadside interference. These aren't random notes. They match the weeks when convoys slipped through the Southeast with 0 patrol stops. As technicians mirror the phone, another group opens calendars from the judge's cloud accounts. The entries look normal: golf, lunches, seminars. But when timestamps line up with money flows, the pattern is obvious. Every meeting matches a spike through shell companies. Every seminar matches a shipment window. The judge wasn't just taking payments, he was setting the timetable. Agents mapped the network. 47 shell companies spread across the screen like a web. Delaware, Panama, Curacao, each one empty, yet money shoots through them with precision. Funds drop in, bounce through layers, and exit clean. A system built for speed, untouched for 6 years. Then comes the most disturbing link. Each burst of activity matches a known cartel load 50 to 120 pounds. Nearly a ton has moved in 3 months. No checkpoint flagged anything. Someone kept them blind. One agent steps back and says, "He's not covering routes, he's designing them." A judge with access to warrant cycles and patrol patterns knows exactly when departments slow down or shift focus. With tight timing, a corridor can stay open for years. As evidence stacks up, the room gets quieter. Payments from South American exporters match truck rentals in Texas. Fuel receipts line up with smuggling lanes. Utility bills appear during months when the cartel needed storage. A digital map fills with red dots across 7 states. The team realizes they're not seeing a few corrupt players. They're seeing the system built, protected, and running. And if they don't move fast, the people behind it will wipe everything clean before dawn. Before the next phase begins, here's your quick call to action. If you want the operation to strike now, press 1. If you think the team should gather more proof first, press 9. Your choice drives the mission forward. Inside a secured briefing room, federal leaders study maps and movement logs spread across a long table. No one questions what the judge did anymore. They only calculate how many people helped him and how fast the network will react now that his phone is in federal hands. The conclusion comes fast. They cannot wait. They need one coordinated strike across all states before anyone can run or erase evidence. Operation Crosscut begins before sunrise. The plan is simple but risky. Hit every warehouse, broker office, transport hub, and holding site at the exact same moment. No warning, no exits left open. The map shows a wide battlefield. Georgia is the financial core. Florida brings in overseas containers. Texas holds rural roads perfect for moving product. New Jersey and New York manage distribution. Illinois hides rail storage. Alabama covers short-term stops and repair sites. Teams roll out in the dark with silent radios. In Savannah, agents move between old riverfront buildings that look abandoned, but heat scans reveal activity inside. Drones rise and seal every exit. Agents break in and find packaging tools, chemicals, and logs tied to Venezuelan containers. Suspects run but hit locked docks. In Houston, a small industrial unit becomes a sprint. Guards bolt, but K9 units close in fast. Inside, powder dust covers tables and drying racks. A full processing room shuts down in seconds. In New Jersey, chaos erupts at a trucking hub. Workers scatter. Agents chase suspects between trailers. One hides in a refrigerated unit but is found by thermal sensors. New York teams sweep freight broker offices lit by overnight screens. Files match the logs from Savannah, showing brokers quietly moving suspicious cargo. In Chicago, old rail warehouses hold crates with false labels hiding rows of narcotics. Alabama's repair shop seems harmless until agents open crates and find drugs hidden under tools. Behind a cabinet, coded maps match symbols from the judge's messages. By sunrise, every location is secured. Evidence stacks up, doors stay sealed. Across 7 states, every route the cartel relied on for years collapses in a single morning. The twist doesn't come from a chase. It comes from a dusty office in Newark, inside a building that looks forgotten. Agents open a metal cabinet expecting routine papers. Instead, they find monthly folders arranged with careful block letters, as if someone wanted every move to look clean and official. The first page hits hard. Hail, guarantees clearance. Do not deviate. This is not a judge helping quietly. This is a direct promise of protection. As they turn the pages, the truth opens wider. The folders list full names, police officers, inspectors, transit supervisors, city employees, even senior law enforcement. No code names, no initials. Each name sits beside a task. Delay inspections, ignore camera feeds, approve special waivers, let certain trucks pass without question. It becomes clear this network wasn't hiding inside the system. It was wired into the system. Backup contacts, replacement inspectors, dummy schedules, everything designed to keep the pipeline open even if someone stepped out. This isn't random corruption. It is a shield built to protect cartel routes across multiple states. Then the final line delivers the biggest hit: clearance good through next quarter. Whoever wrote it believed the system would continue running long after the judge was gone. For the task force, the mission changes instantly. They're no longer dealing with one corrupted official. They're facing a coordinated alliance hidden behind uniforms and job titles, using trust as cover. If you've been following the twists in this mission, tell me what you think. Press 1 if you believe the shield is larger than the files reveal. Press 9 if you think more names are still hiding in the system. When the names from the Newark files reach federal command centers, the reaction is immediate. Screens fill with portraits of officers, inspectors, and city employees who days earlier stood in uniform at community events. Now those same faces appear beside evidence logs. Inside briefing rooms, the tone shifts from shock to urgency. The shield they uncovered is wider than anyone expected. News spreads within hours. Stations show side-by-side images of the accused, one in uniform, one in cuffs. Across Georgia, Florida, Texas, New Jersey, New York, Illinois, and Alabama, people stare at TVs trying to understand how trusted officials became silent gatekeepers for cartel shipments. Crowds gather outside courthouses holding signs like, "Who protects us from the protectors?" Inside federal agencies, investigators push deeper. Phone logs lead to new contacts. Email threads stretch farther. GPS data from patrol cars matches convoy routes almost perfectly. Some names point to people still untouched. Others reveal support roles, clerks adjusting schedules, supervisors approving strange absences, small-town officers redirecting patrols at key times. As the final map forms, one truth becomes impossible to ignore. The cartel wasn't slipping past law enforcement. Parts of law enforcement were clearing the way for them. What began as a financial case has become a full internal breach. In one operations center, a radio voice says, "If the shield existed once, it can exist again." The room falls silent. This wasn't a single incident. It was a model one that could appear anywhere someone with influence trades loyalty for money. Arrests continue through the night. Cars roll up to quiet homes. Plainclothes officers knock. Some suspects give up immediately. Others stall or try to wipe devices before agents enter. By morning, the list is long. Judges, officers, inspectors, port workers, zoning staff, freight brokers. But even with 184 arrests, the team knows they're not done. The final line from the Newark folder remains: clearance good through next quarter. It's proof the network expected to continue. And now one question hangs over the room. How many more are still out there, waiting for the next shipment window? By sunrise, Operation Crosscut enters its next phase. Inside temporary command posts, agents sort through files, coded maps, phones, and financial logs taken overnight. 184 people now face federal charges: judges, officers, inspectors, port workers, zoning staff, freight brokers. The evidence makes one thing clear: this was not street crime. It was a pipeline built inside the system. Investigators work through the materials quickly. Payment trails reach back years: small deposits, quiet favors, delayed inspections, missing reports. What once looked like routine paperwork now forms a pattern designed to keep cartel routes open without raising alarms. Across the states, people gather outside courthouses as officials they trusted are led inside in cuffs. Community leaders struggle to explain how the shield ran for so long without a warning. For many residents, the shock isn't just the drugs, it's learning how deeply the corruption was woven into daily government work. Inside federal agencies, attention shifts to what comes next. A large map shows routes, warehouses, offices, and holding sites, but agents know the threat may run even deeper. The cartel relied on insiders who understood patrol cycles and inspection habits. That kind of structure doesn't disappear simply because the first layer is exposed. Some suspects cooperate, others stay silent, but emails, transfers, GPS hits, and warehouse logs keep revealing new connections. The picture becomes unmistakable. The shield wasn't random, it was engineered. Then there is the final line from the Newark cabinet: clearance good through next quarter. Reconfirmed February. It hangs over the room like a warning. The network expected to continue. It expected protection to hold. Crosscut may have broken the surface, but deeper parts of the pipeline may still be active. New names, new routes, new insiders waiting for the right moment. If you want to follow what the next phase uncovers, stay with Military Power and subscribe so you never miss the next move.